Ahead on News 6 at 11, the image is just incredible. A history-making winter storm blanketing parts of the Panhandle with snow, and I don't mean flurries. Jonathan.
A historic winter storm continues across North Florida. We'll talk about how far some sleet gets into Central Florida coming up tonight at 11. A winter weather advisory is in effect for parts of Central Florida. We'll talk about how far south sleet gets tonight.
And there's even history-making snow in the Panhandle. See it next at 11.
Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 11 p.m.
The images are just incredible. A history-making winter storm blanketing parts of the Panhandle with snow, and I don't mean flurries. And Jonathan, we're in for a truly cold night here.
We are, yeah. The temperatures are getting back down into the 20s and 30s when you factor in the wind. Weather alert day tomorrow for widespread cold rain and also the opportunity for some sleet and freezing rain northwest of I-4. We're going to pinpoint that timeline in a few minutes.
And we'll take you to Marion County to see how people are getting ready for this winter blast. Plus, 22 states are already challenging one of President Trump's most controversial executive orders, while a local immigration attorney says it goes far beyond redefining who should be a citizen.
I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of January 6th. I have no remorse for it. I'm very proud of it.
That former local police officer, one of many pardoned by the president. Later, what he says really happened on January 6th. But we have to start now at 11 tonight with the winter weather alerts. Here is a live look at Mexico Beach, courtesy of Weather Stem. And if you look at the bottom of your screen there, yeah, that is snow on the ground. Thank you for joining us. I'm Justin Mormouth. Matt and Ginger are off tonight. No question about it. The snow is pretty in moderation. And you can see people in Pensacola even out playing in the powder earlier tonight. But something is wrong when you see snow in the palm trees in Gulf Shores, Alabama. At last check, around 40 million people across the South are under some kind of winter weather alert, including more than 21 million under a winter storm warning. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas here now breaking down what we can expect.
Yeah, and the winter storm stuff is going to stay north of our area for the most part anyway. We do have a winter weather advisory in play, and these are rare for Central Florida. That is in effect for Marion overnight into early tomorrow, for the potential for a little bit of sleet to mix in and a glaze of ice with some freezing rain coming through. Not expecting widespread issues because the road temperatures for the most part should stay above freezing. Nonetheless, on some of the overpasses and maybe on your decks or things like that, if we do get a little bit of that freezing rain come through, could be a little slick at times. It's nasty out there. That wind-blown rain is just a killer. 43 degrees in Orlando. It's 37 right now in the Villages. These are actual air temperatures, by the way. 36 in Ocala. When you factor in the wind, it's more like the lower 20s in Marion County, and it's more like the 30s elsewhere across Central Florida. Again, temperatures are going to struggle tomorrow as that reinforcing shot of colder air comes down. There comes the extra rain. A few light showers now. More rain on the way as all that moisture is still hanging out into the Gulf. We are going to pinpoint the timeline of when the rain and a little bit of sleet and freezing rain move through parts of Central Florida, Justin, coming up at about 11:17.
Sounds good. We'll see you then, Jonathan. Thank you. And let's face it, most Floridians just aren't used to driving in snow of any sort, and that made driving dangerous today on I-10 in the Panhandle. Here's a real photo posted by the Florida Highway Patrol in Pensacola, where several more inches of snow forecast to fall tonight. FHP tells News 6 it's activated 150 state troopers within the Panhandle alone. And even though we won't see snow here, sleets can be just as dangerous, not to mention ice. So many of you will need to drive extra carefully in the morning. News 6's Mike Valenci traveled to North Marion County and Gainesville to see how people and deputies are preparing. Also in Marion County, the city of Ocala has terminated its contract with the company behind the Lake Eola drone show. The city council voted unanimously this evening. Sky Elements operated the drone show last month when drones collided during the holiday event. One of them actually struck a young boy. Last week, we broke the news that federal investigators found several of the drones had not been getting data up until 5 minutes before the show. Sky Elements says it's made safety changes, but Ocala's city council proceeded with the vote anyways. New at 11 tonight, a local immigration lawyer is speaking out about one of the most controversial executive orders signed by President Trump on his first day. It targets birthright citizenship. The president says children born to parents here illegally are not U.S. citizens. The move challenges from 22 states and civil rights organizations who say there's no debate to be had because our Constitution is clear. That local attorney tells News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez the outcome could dramatically shift the balance of power. On Inauguration Day, President Trump had just one cabinet member confirmed by the U.S. Senate. And as the president spent his first full day back in the Oval Office, that cabinet member, Marco Rubio, also got down to work, meeting with Japanese foreign minister on his first day as the nation's Secretary of State. Meanwhile, the state's former Attorney General took up her new job, Ashley Moody, replacing Rubio in the U.S. Senate. Vice President J.D. Vance swore her in today. Well, if you're just now joining us, our big story is a wallop from winter weather, a live look from Pensacola here, and from historic snowfall in the Panhandle to sleet and freeze potential in parts of our area. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas has the full forecast of how cold it'll get and how long it'll stick around. First, though, yesterday morning, he was awaiting a sentence for his role in the attack on the Capitol. Tonight, he has a pardon from the president. What he says we don't know about January 6th. You're watching News 6 at 11 live on a Tuesday night, getting results for Deltona, Kissimmee, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Rubenstein Law.
Across America with mega jackpots, it's Mega Millions.
Hello, America. I'm John Crow. It is Tuesday, January 21st, and tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is an estimated annuitized $20 million. To win that jackpot, you must match these 5 white balls plus that gold mega ball. Now, let's see if I can make you a millionaire tonight. Our first winning number tonight is 65. That's followed by 27. Up next, we have 30. Your next number is 64, and your final white ball number for this Tuesday evening is 56. Now for the mega ball number, that is 22. Again, tonight's winning numbers are 65, 27, 30, 64, 56, and the gold mega ball is 22. Now, if no one matches all 6 numbers, Friday's jackpot could be more than $28 million. Play on, America.
You're a good station. You've got nice people working there, and you report the news the way it is. Very pleased with the results you got.
4 years after the riots at the U.S. Capitol, President Trump is wiping away the criminal charges of more than 1,500 people. That includes nearly 50 Central Florida residents who were charged in connection with what happened that day. News 6's Laverne McGee spoke with one of those people who says he is not sorry for what he did. Of course, our big story is the winter weather alert out for much of North Florida and even into Marion County. A winter storm warning is in effect tonight in New Orleans as the Big Easy becomes the Big Snowy. That is making it dangerous to drive. City crews are out using front-end loaders to try and push the powder away. New Orleans expecting up to 10 inches of snow to pile up. Here's a live look at Mexico City Beach, and you might even catch a glimpse of a falling flurry. This storm system even spreading snow at Houston, a park normally full of joggers, instead packed with sledders. Houstonians will wake up in the teens tomorrow morning, and while the real Blizzard Beach is at Walt Disney World, there is now a twin in Galveston. White sand blanketed with white snow. Pretty surreal sight there. And by the way, our Blizzard Beach is closed due to the cold through at least Thursday, as is Universal's Volcano Bay. SeaWorld's Aquatica closed through Friday. And we know the historic snow can be dangerous, but let this dog have his day. A pet parent tweeted this video of Frazier there, pretty pumped, zooming across the snowy porch and yard in Mobile, Alabama this morning. Tweet says Frazier had never seen snow before. That's how we all react when we get to see snow for the first time. Zoomies for the doggos.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, Jonathan, we're staying inside. I mean, it's not snowing here in Central Florida, but it is absolutely gross out there with the rain. I think I might prefer the snow, to be
honestly,
honest.
yeah, I mean, that's the hot take there. Rather have the snow.
That is a hot take.
That wind-driven rain out there, it's just nasty. That raw feel, it's in the 30s and 40s right now without the wind involved, and it is, of course, really windy out there as well. Snow continues to fall again. It is done in New Orleans. It is done in Mobile. It is about done in Pensacola as well. The heaviest now just to the west of Tallahassee. It's icing right now in Tallahassee. We have that cold rain from Tampa to Orlando, northwest of I-4, moving up into Jacksonville, and that will continue to work its way from west to east. Look at some of these snowfall reports. Remember, 4 inches was the previous state record. Milton doubled that and then some. Milton, Florida, 8.8 inches. That's where the previous record was, by the way. Oriole Beach picking up 8. Pensacola, 7.6 inches. Crestview, 6 inches. And on the beaches of Teston, 2.8 inches of snow. And those numbers will likely be up. Wanted to show you this. Impress your friends tomorrow. So the snowfall today in Milton, 8.8 inches. Today, that's greater than what New York City has picked up all winter long. So some crazy stuff going on in the Florida Panhandle. Again, nothing short of historic with this system. Now, for us, it's mainly just a cold rain. So there you go. You see the green on the future radar here. This is 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. That steady stuff sliding on through. Really the same deal as we get towards 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning when Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is going to be pinpointing that. It's going to be around daybreak tomorrow where you see that pink color. That's that freezing rain to sleet potential. It's not going to be widespread, and you see it is very, very short-lived. But again, just going to be watching for that small potential for a few slick spots tomorrow in Marion County, especially on elevated surfaces. Then once we get into the afternoon, still going to be windy, but the rain finally shuts off, so at least it'll feel better. These are the road temperatures now, not the air temperatures. Again, important for the freezing, of course. You need to have temperatures at freezing on the road for them to cause some issues. And we are still well above that threshold in Marion County where we still have that winter weather advisory in play until 10 o'clock tomorrow. Taking that into the future, the forecast road temperatures, again, getting down to about 34 degrees tomorrow morning. So again, there could be a few slick spots in Marion County. We'll be watching that closely. Again, just keep it easy on the roads tomorrow, as again, there could be the few, especially on the elevated surfaces like bridges and overpasses. In terms of that cold rain, still an additional ½ inch to an inch as that steady stuff continues through the early afternoon tomorrow. Now, part 2 of this is the cold. Look at this. Air temperature is back in the Panhandle, Pensacola, 25. It's 43 in Orlando. The place to be still is Miami, where it's hanging out into the low 70s. Same deal as the Keys. Now here's a look at your pinpoint. Accurate forecast.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency? You ought to call Strata.
Cold, raw morning tomorrow. High rain chances. And again, the potential for a few sleet pellets in Marion and Flagler County. Slick spots isolated in Marion as well. 34 in the Villages tomorrow morning. 40 in Kissimmee. Factor in the wind. It's going to be ugly, especially away from the coast. 26 it'll feel like in Ocala. 33 it'll feel like in Kissimmee. More like the low to mid 50s on the Atlantic coast, right along the Space Coast. Highs tomorrow. Struggle again to get out of the 50s. There's some relief in sight if you don't like this stuff. Again, weather alert day tomorrow for that small potential for icing in Marion, and then those bitterly cold wind chills across central Florida area-wide. We're at 55 on Thursday with a 40% shot for rain. The sunshine comes out after a cold start Sunday, though, Justin. Look at all the sunshine on Saturday. There we go. Back to the 70s early next work week.
Wish I could hibernate till then. Thank you, Jonathan. Here are tonight's Florida lottery numbers. Pick 2, 26, pick 3, 709, pick 4, 5200, pick 5, 80020, and the fireball is 7. Jackpot triple play, 32, 14, 29, 5, 2, 10. Fantasy 5 here, 10, 17, 5, 9, 36. And cash for life, 8, 17, 27, 54, 57. Cash ball is 1. Good luck. Every year, it is the biggest Super Bowl Sunday event besides the Super Bowl or maybe the halftime show. Animal lovers rejoice. The Puppy Bowl coming back and some local canines taking part in the cutest competition. Meet some of them next.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage Plans.
Nobody knows traffic better than a state trooper. I'm the only traffic expert who's actually investigated crashes, who's patrolled these roads. I know how that traffic is going to affect your morning commute. So get real advice and start here on News 6 Mornings.
Visit clickorlando.com/contest to enter for your chance to win 2 two-day passes to the Rolex 24.
There are a handful of Central Florida natives competing this weekend for a chance to play in the Super Bowl, but some smaller local stars are already bowl-bound. Florida Little Dog Rescue in St. Cloud sending 8 puppies to the 21st Puppy Bowl, playing on Team Fluff and Team Rough for the Lombardi Trophy. They have already been adopted, but the shelter says they have a lot more amazing puppies ready to find some homes, and boy, are these puppies cute. To read more about each of the 8 local dogs competing, including a history-making pooch named Smoosh, head on over to this article on clickorlando.com. I got a question if those puppies can play basketball, Jamie.
Well, the Magic need them, but I heard Smoosh has a really good arm.
Good arm?
Yeah, Brady-esque.
Okay, a Brady-esque. You know, it's a tough night for the Magic, though, as we talk about those.
Yeah, more guys were out. Okay, 6 players were out tonight with either injury or illness, and depth makes such a big difference right now, right? Highlights from Toronto are on the way, but first, the Baseball Hall of Fame revealing the class of 2026 tonight. Here's Yankees pitcher CC Sabathia getting the phone call from Cooperstown. He's going into the Hall of Fame, along with closer Billy Wagner and legendary hitter Ichiro Suzuki. Ichiro is the first Japanese player to get into the Hall. He was 1 vote shy of being a unanimous pick.
Imagine your home totally organized with Closets by Design. Breaking news, traffic. When you need to know what's going on in your neighborhood, trust Sky 6 to get the bigger picture. Exclusively sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
This was a gut check game for the Orlando Magic tonight. They tried to break their 3-game slide at the Toronto Raptors, but once again, they were really shorthanded. No Jalen Suggs, no Franz Wagner, no Goga Batadze, no Gary Harris, no Jet Howard, and no Cole Anthony tonight, all out due to injury or illness. And it's great to have them in Orlando.
Absolutely. Anytime. Come back. You can find all the tonight's stories plus breaking news and podcasts on News 6 Plus. Hope you have a great night. Take care.